In a bustling city park, an old man sat on the same worn-out bench every day. His life had been reduced to this single task, begging. His focus was sharp and narrow, centered only on the hands and purses of the people who passed by, hoping for a coin or two to survive another day. Among the park's daily visitors was a young woman who often came with her little boy. Every day, the old man would approach her with his hand outstretched, and every day she would politely refuse. This went on for weeks. One afternoon, filled with frustration, the old man approached her not to beg, but to question. "Memsahib," he asked, his voice strained, "I am a poor old man. I ask you for help every day, and you always say no. Why won't you help me?" The young woman looked at him, her gaze direct but not unkind. "Baba," she replied calmly, "I believe that every exchange should have value. I will not give you money for nothing, but I would happily pay for something of value if you have it to offer." Her words confused and angered him. What value could a beggar offer? He retreated to his bench, her statement echoing in his mind. He felt a deep sense of worthlessness. To pass the long, empty hours, he picked up a fallen twig and a sharp-edged stone he found nearby. With no plan in mind, he began scraping and carving the wood, his hands moving aimlessly at first. He wasn't a carpenter. He had never done this before. But as he worked, a shape began to emerge. To his own surprise, after an hour of fumbling work, he was holding a tiny, rough carving of a bird. The next day, he went about his business of begging as usual. However, something had changed. When a kind man dropped a few coins into his palm, the old man, on impulse, reached into his pocket and held out the little wooden bird. The man was surprised, then smiled, accepting the small, unexpected gift. The old man continued this all day. For every coin he received, he gave a small carving in return. He worked on them in his spare moments, his hands slowly getting better, more confident. Soon, a strange thing began to happen. People who had received the little toys showed them to others. Word began to spread about the beggar who gave gifts. People started approaching him not just to give alms, but to see his carvings. They would offer him money and say, "Can I have one of those little birds for my child?" The transaction slowly shifted. They were no longer giving him charity, they were buying his art. He realized that people saw value in what his hands could make. He began to spend more time carving and less time begging. He laid out his small creations on a piece of cloth on the bench beside him. His collection grew from birds to little elephants and flowers. What was once a beggar's bench slowly transformed into a tiny famous stall. People came specifically to buy his hand-carved toys. He was no longer the sad, invisible old man. He was the toy maker of the park, a respected member of the community. One day, the young woman walked by with her son. She didn't say a word, but she looked at his small, thriving business and gave him a nod of deep respect. He nodded back, a silent acknowledgement of the life-changing lesson she had taught him. The moral of the story is this: your life changes the moment you shift your mindset from "what can I get" to "what can I give?" We often think we have nothing to offer, but everyone has a hidden potential, a value they can create. It is not about a skill you already have, but about the willingness to try. Success is not about what you receive. It is a result of the value you create for others. Like the old man, when you start giving, even something small, you will find that the world gives back to you more than you could ever imagine.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Lessons for more inspiring content.